Solace, 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 solace.
It's the wise one, Mr. Solace here. All praises to the horizon, peace, wealth, and wisdom. Now today I want to do this very deep video for you guys discussing nothing. It's a very deep thing because nothing is so powerful. Now we have images, symbols, names, the world, anything that has to do with physical life, meaning a name is not physical, but it has association with physical things, no different than a symbol. And so my point is, all images, all symbols, anything having to do with physical life belongs to Satan. This is God. This is the Almighty. This is the light. And so I want to say again, nothingness is so powerful. Nothingness, this is to be still, to be unconscious, dreamless sleep. These things are all nothing manifesting with all that is physical life. And so many of you guys will probably think nothing is nothing. This doesn't make sense. But it does, because you know nothing still. And so if you know nothing, it's real. It is something that you just haven't explored. And so I want to reiterate one more time. Nothingness is the most powerful thing. It is the all, meaning nothingness. And everything that you guys associate with physical life, whether good or bad, it belongs to what y'all view as Satan. Devil, God, Satan, these all being one thing. And so you have a duality in physical life. And then you have a duality to that duality, that being nothing. And so I want to explain to you guys, I apologize, I want to explain to you guys how all of your gods, devils, anything of the world belongs to Satan. This is why in the text it says, he who fooled the whole world. Speaking of Satan, or the devil. Now, everyone worships Satan in one rendition or another. Meaning, it doesn't matter what religion you follow, what practice you follow, what thing you subscribe to. It is all worship of Satan in one form or another, because that is your only God that you have in physical life. I know it sounds strange to many of you. You've been brainwashed into the opposing sides of the duality, never realizing that that duality is associated with a oneness, meaning one thing, just like you are a dual being yourself, two-sided, but you're just one. And so duality comes with physical life. All in physical life, whether it be a religion, a sign, a symbol, it belongs to Satan. All the names y'all have for God, Allah, El, Jesus, these all belong to Satan. And so it starts with you guys understanding this. According to the story, Satan was cast out or separated, cast into darkness, the abyss, the bottomless deep. Now I want you to grasp. In the beginning, the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the deep. And so, this is that God in darkness, alone. Grasp that. Satan was cast alone. The Bible starts, in the beginning, the Spirit of God was hovering over this darkness and then created the world. My point, that's Satan. And so you guys have to grasp this is your first created, or your self-creator, so to say. Meaning, if Satan's cast in the bottomless deep or darkness alone, and so he creates the world, meaning in the beginning the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the deep, the void, well, this is your person that created the heavens, the earth, the whole world. And so we're speaking of he who was cast out or separated. In the beginning was the Word, and all was made through him. This is John 1:1. Speaking of the same person. He who descended is he who ascended to fill the whole universe. This is Ephesians 4:10. Speaking of the same person. Meaning Satan was cast down. It says, he who descended is he who ascended to fill the entire universe. Now, many people associate most of these texts with Jesus or God, meaning in the beginning, the Spirit of God. This is talking about God. In the beginning was the Word, and all was made through him. This is talking about God and Jesus. And he who descended is he who ascended. This is talking about Jesus. But y'all don't understand that God, Jesus, all these things belong to Satan. Meaning what y'all are thinking, like you got Satan and God, that is nothingness. As I said, nothing is something because you know of nothingness. You experience it in unconsciousness, dreamless sleep, when standing still. All the things y'all hate, all the things y'all dread and fear. Meaning if I say, go stand in a dark room by yourself, you say, no, I'm not doing that. But in that, so you are with self. There's no influence. There's just peace and rest. And so, being in nothingness conscious is as close as you're going to get, you can say, to nothingness. But my point of saying that is, anything associated with this world has to do with Satan. Meaning even that title, God, it belongs to Satan. Or what y'all associate with devil. These all being names to describe a thing, or titles to describe a thing. And so I reiterated those texts so that you guys can grasp. The stories say that Satan or the devil was cast separate from all else, alone in darkness. And so when you get the text, it says, in the beginning, the Spirit of God. I'm trying to get you guys to grasp it's speaking of Satan. He is the first. You can say you're self-created. Created the heavens, the earth. Everything you see in this physical realms of life, or what you associate with it. Even dream. Even spirit. All of these, well, I don't want to say spirit, but all you associate with physical life. So it starts with that character. Even if you go to ancient Egypt, so you have Amen. He's self-created. Or, as I teach you guys, he's sound, which is your first stages of physical manifestation. Meaning, from Amen to Ra is only one entity's manifestation from sound into the physical. Sound being unseen, but word or sound is associated with physical. It is your beginnings of physical life. Sound. If you're familiar with science, as sound raises in hertz, it transcends into light, meaning it takes on a new form. This is why you have thunder, then lightning. When sound is raised too high, it transcends over into light, meaning sound, light, all physical things, they start from sound, or that unseen beginnings of physicalness. And so this is why all physical things have sound, and you get it? And so it's a simple thing to grasp. Amen to Ra, Amen-Ra, that's what that's to say. That entity's that entity manifesting or going through its stages of manifesting completely physically, into physical life. Starting with the unseen or sound. And so none is Amen. None is Amen, which is the self-created, before, manifesting out into sound. So none is inactivity. You can say that nothingness. He, this is your vibration or your activity, your chaotic waters, which is to say vibration. The squiggly lines is for vibration. It really has nothing to do with waters, but it's more of a sound thing, an unseen manifesting out physically. And so none, like I said, is inactivity, nothing. He, which is vibration, same entity as none. It's just this one entity, going from silent, inactive, to vibration. Kek is your separation between sound and vibration and silence. Vibration and silence is one. But you see the stages, none is inactive, unconscious, you can say. He, vibration, the beginnings of sound. Then you have Amen. Of course, Amen is that sound, first created, self-created. Meaning none, Amen. None, He, Kek, Amen. All one entity. Atom. Tefnut, Shu, Nut, Geb. This is all one entity manifesting out physically. Nut, Geb, or Saw, or Set. Set. Nephthys. Heru, then Ra. This is all a steady transition of manifesting of one entity. You can say that one entity being what we call today the Satan. And so it's a simple thing to grasp. I'll put it to you in a real life perspective. You can say you have, in ancient times they had Barbalo, Sophia, so to say. This is associated with Barbalo. Barbalo is your immortal realms. This is your beginnings of life. Meaning, you can say life manifests from Barbalo, or it starts there. So Barbalo is the beginning and the end. You get it? Life is circular. Now I want you guys to grasp. Barbalo is known as the all-mother father, so to say. Meaning it's a mother-father entity. It's not just male or feminine. And so Barbalo is like your first emanation of manifestation of God or creation. Reference none. As I said, none to Amen. Amen being your self-created. This all being one entity manifesting out. So in ancient Egypt times, they had, the Netta or the Neteru. When you're dealing with the Barbalo and the Gnostic teaching, so it's the same. They have Barbalo, the Archons and the Eons, which is the same as your Neteru, your male and female Neteru. You get it? And so these are the aspects of the life before you get the physical life. And so Barbalo is your immortal realm, so to say, or your mother, father, God. Meaning the beginnings of your duality. The beginnings of physical creation. And so I want you to look at it as this. You have an entity, let's say Barbalo. All mother, all father. The sperm cell or the spirit, meaning the sperm or the ejaculation that comes from this male entity. This is your Satan, so to say. What separates itself. So you are a sperm cell that got an egg cell, then you develop into body. Imagine you Sperm cell getting egg cell. You're like Satan. The first separation, so to say, from the whole. Now that would be your father, but we talking the beginnings with this mother father entity, Barbara, or in ancient Kemetic texts, or the Nataru, just one entity manifesting out. Now I want you guys to grasp. When this sperm cell, which is Satan, in the beginning the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the deep, created the world. When this sperm cell gets an egg cell, I'm using sperm cell because y'all know that physically. But when this spirit gets an egg cell or body, it reaches a point where it ejaculates itself. So Satan is that spirit that came from God. When a man ejaculates, Satan is that spirit or sperm that came from God, got an egg cell. It develops into body. It is entity. It is being now. It reaches puberty. It ejaculates. That ejaculation is Jesus, or Spirit of God. And so this will always repeat, meaning you will always have men reproducing out into the life. Meaning I have a son. He is the sperm cell that left the father. Got an egg. The word devil, Satan, this is being put on it to describe it. The separation, the casting away. My son gets an egg cell as a sperm cell. He develops into body. Now my son is 8. He will reach puberty. He will ejaculate that semen from himself, which is his self. You get it? That semen coming from me, going all the way back to first father, you can say. You get it? Where all the spirits in life come from. Meaning even a woman, my daughter, came from me. My spirit ejaculated out. You get it? And so it's explaining that. Meaning, that's why it says don't judge, good from bad, or just get understanding. And so you can say Satan is the first sperm cell to be cast from the Father, which was all mother, all father. You get it? Existence, so to say. And so when you get to the Neteru, or the ancient Egyptians, Nun, Kek, Nun, Head, Kek, Amen, Atum, so on and so forth. Explaining the manifesting out. Well, it's explaining that entities, coming into being now after being cast away from the whole. And so I'm using your father, you, as an example of things because life is all reproducing. And so I'm using that so that you grasp. Hopefully it's not scrambling you guys' brains. But when you're speaking of the devil, Jesus, God, you're speaking of one thing in its reproduction. From that, you kind of getting all you have in life. Meaning all the physical life that we live, it's due to this entity that they call Satan, or devil, or God. In ancient times, Barbara. And so, it's a deep thing. Everything y'all worship is Satan. Even the Jesus part. Meaning the Jesus part is the misunderstanding of that spirit that we all ejaculate out as men. That is the sacrifice. The sacrificial spirit, so to say. Coming from the Father, the beginnings. And so men, women, we all were sacrificed spirits out. Meaning even my daughter was sacrificed spirit, pushed out. Male, so to say. This is why all the spirits are associated with being male. The sons of God, to say like male. All sperm cells, whether male or female, meaning whatever they become, so they came from the Father's existence. You get it? Sperm cell come from men. Egg cells, which are bodies, come from women. And so women fall as sperm cell no different than men. get bodies, and so now you have a woman's world. You get it? Yeah. Sperm cell falls, gets an XLR body. Now you have a man's world, but so you have to grasp. All starts as spirit, falling from the Father. That Father, you can say, being God. Satan would be the God or Father of this physical existence because he's first cast away. So you can look at God or our Father is non-existing, but all the spirits are coming from there. The eggshells as well, because it's all Mother Father, meaning your Barbara, or your Nun to Amen, meaning none is inactivity, nothingness. But it is something because this nothingness, or piece of this nothingness, is the piece that's about to transcend out into sound, then light. You get it? Which is Amen, then Atom. And so, head kek, this is just your transition to those points in physical manifestation. So it's a simple thing I want you guys to grasp. The creator of the heavens, the earth, all physical things is Satan. This is God, Almighty, Allah, Jesus, El, good and bad, the Alpha and Omega of all physical things. Simple thing to grasp. I know some of you guys don't want to, but so that's the reality. Now, you also have nothingness, or the void, the unseen, the unnamed, no duality, in all oneness and all order. You can reference none in activity, or where none derives. And so, kind of grasp, this is the opposite of duality. This is the opposite of all dealing with physicalness, which, as I just explained, has to do with what we call Satan, which isn't a bad thing or a good thing, but you get your good and your bad with physical existence. With nothingness, so you just get the opposites of good and bad, which is just stability, fulfillment, peace, rest, I've finished my work, so to say, in a sense of I'm still living, I'm still me, but I'm done. I can relax. And so grasp, this is the opposite of all physical. This is your nothingness. And so nothingness is what y'all need to learn, what y'all need to explore. This is why this is truly where meditation derives from man trying to learn or know what we call nothingness, which is truly, your creator. It is where Amen, which is self-created, came from. You get it? The nothingness, or that void, that mother, so to say. And so it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. You have opposing sides of duality in this life. And then you have the opposite of that, where duality stops. Got to learn that. Man kind of gets lost on, the opposing sides of the duality, never finding the balance between the two, which is your narrow road to that nothingness, which is something. Like I said, the nothingness manifests out with the physical life, kind of guarding over it, being in order for it, kind of pulling it back eventually. If you're lost, you have moments of dreamless sleep. You have moments of unconsciousness. You have moments of complete stillness. You have the darkness. These things all being nothingness manifesting out with the physical life, so that it still be, and it is where all you see comes from. Even though it's ignored, so it is. And so, don't get lost into these worldly things, worldly religions, gods, and all of these things. You have to stay focused. Learn nothingness. You can learn all in life, but learn nothingness. This is where all comes from. This is before the beginnings, so to say. And so hopefully you guys grasp somewhat what I was explaining. I'll come back and go more in depth on Barbelo, because they speak of Barbelo in the Gospel of Judas. And I want to explain the Gospel of Judas to you guys. It goes more in depth in regards to the 12 disciples of Jesus and how they always argued. Meaning they really hated Jesus. He got on their nerves, but they feared him. They feared his wisdom. But, you know, truly they felt stupid in his presence. And so they kind of had an animosity to him. Judas more than them all, because Judas was wise as well. He used to challenge Jesus. Tell him, I know who you are. You come from Barbelo. He tried to tell him, you come from below. I know who you are. And so Jesus would torment him back. He called him 13th demon. Many people get lost on that when Jesus called him the 13th demon. But it's a matter of Jesus is prophesying to them what's to come. Meaning you ain't have demons yet. He's telling them, like, there will be a thing known as demons and you will be... He's calling him what he will be. It's like a little boy 8 years old, and so you foresee his future. You say, oh, he's going to be a big-time drug dealer like El Chapo. He's going to be all the evils in the world. And so you kind of, when he 8, you kind of just call him that early. You say, man, what you talking about, drug dealer? And so he be lost. Like, huh? I don't sell drugs, I make. But you know, like, nigga, you going to be. And so he's telling Judas, you're going to be the 13th demon in the life. Now, it's 12 disciples, so he's going to lose his place and be 13. So, I'll go more in depth. Many people say the Gospel of Thomas, this is, you know, apocrypha. It's not something that, it's not one of the books that was accepted in the Bible. Therefore, it's not real. It's not authentic. But I want to say this, they keep it in a I can never say that word right, but they keep it in, you know, the sacred library. And so, last time I checked, they don't keep fake things in the library, meaning they don't have the copy of the Bible that we all have in the libraries. The sacred ones, not the ones you go rent books from, but the ones where you can go there and read what's there, but you can't leave with it. And so, kind of like the Vatican Library. You have many sacred libraries. The Gospel of Thomas is there. Meaning all those apocryphal books, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Judas, all the things y'all deem as fake, why do they keep them in libraries? The sacred ones, where you can't rent them. Rest my case. And so I'll come back and break that down. All praises to the horizon, peace, wealth, and wisdom. Stay away from signs, symbols. This is why it says, you know, to kind of stay away from signs, symbols, worshipping, idolizing. These are the things that's going to lead you into the worldly things, which belongs to the thing that y'all hate, or y'all say y'all hate, which is devil, the opposite of God. But as I said, God, devil, one entity, same thing. It's his title. And so learn nothingness, the titleless, the nameless, the nameless, the unseen. Learn that. Peace and wisdom.